been called Bellew, whatever, so I'm used to it. But I'm Leigh-Ann Bellew, and I am running as a conservative Republican, Republicans for Conservative Leadership for the New Jersey State Senate and Legislative District 13. And I'm running for a number of reasons. My platform basically is life, liberty, which of course without the Second Amendment there is no liberty, but only tyranny, and prosperity. And I decided to run, actually it took me a long time to decide to do this, but I have two young boys, 16 and 13. Both of them, my 16-year-old competitively shoots shooting a rifle, and which we're very proud of. But I want to leave them a country better than I had, and I grew up in the years of Reagan, so I had a pretty darn good country. But I have watched it deteriorate since the birth of my children, and that worries me. Not that the country is deteriorating, not that the people of the country, but the leadership in this country has completely deteriorated. There is no respect for individuality, and that starts for me with life, that every life is precious, every life is sacred. And if you can't protect that part of an individual, then all the other liberties and all the other pursuits matter not. When it comes to liberty, I'm a teacher, I teach AP US history, the foundational documents and first principles. I also teach literature, and I teach comparative worldview, which is a philosophy class. And we look at the world philosophies, and that includes Marxism and Leninism, and we put them up against this idea of American exceptionalism. And it wins every time because its strength is in the individual. That's how our founders meant it. When it comes to the Second Amendment, I want to see in New Jersey less regulation, not more. When I win, and I am in the New Jersey Senate, the very first piece of legislation, maybe the second, but they're battling each other, that I will introduce is to lift the restriction for law-abiding citizens to carry, concealed carry. There is no, without the ability to defend your body, your life, or the life of those that you care about. We know, research has shown, in states where there are carry laws, where more citizens carry, there is less crime. And we can look at Philadelphia and see that's true compared to just across the river in Pennsylvania where they have carry laws. The one place in Pennsylvania where they don't is the most violent, and that is unacceptable. Another piece of legislation that I will introduce will be to strengthen a castle doctrine here in New Jersey. Yes. It is unacceptable that a citizen of New Jersey can be prosecuted for using force to defend their families when an armed intruder comes into their home. Retreating is not liberty. Absolutely. And it should not be. So I would like to see it strengthened so that law-abiding citizens do not have to fear prosecution when protecting their loved ones in their home. So those are, they're fighting for which two I'll introduce first, but those are two pieces of legislation. And this really, it hits home for me. I'm a lifetime member of the NRA. My husband and I own firearms, and we've taught our children about firearms, and it's not for the sake of the gun, but it's about the sake of being able to take on the responsibility to defend yourself. And what some of you might not know is in this country, in many states in this country, towards the beginning of time, you were required to own a firearm, and if you could not afford one, one would be provided to you by the government. So that's what the armories were. And the war, and our war of independence broke out because the British were coming to the armory to take the guns from the colonists, and that's what started it. And I want to be a Minuteman on the floor of the New Jersey Senate fighting for your right, my right, and my children's right to the Second Amendment. I'm also running on prosperity, which means taxes. We are, I believe now, the 46th least economically free state in the United States, and that is a nightmare. We are competing with states like Texas where there is much more economic freedom for businesses, and we see our businesses leaving all the time. With our geographic location and the quality of our citizens and their education and their experience, we should be the #1 economic giant in the country. Not just in the country, but we should be competing with the global economy, and we are not.
We always have been.
We always have been, up until we started to institute taxes, sales taxes and income taxes, and then those taxes, we were sold that bill of goods saying it would lower property taxes, but the income tax hasn't gone down, it's only gone up. The sales tax hasn't gone down, it's only gone up. Property taxes haven't gone down, they've only gone up. And the very purposes that those other taxes were instituted for education, has been sent to failing education districts, avid districts, which do not work. We can throw all the money we want, but until we deal with the problem of families in those districts, we will not see results. And that means not dealing with them as a collective, but dealing with each student and each family as individuals. And that's why I'm running, because this state was the heart of the Enlightenment that brought us liberty in the form of the Declaration of Independence and in the form of the Constitution. And great minds, Rutgers University was started during the Enlightenment period, the spiritual awakening that took place, that brought this understanding of an individual's God-given rights, unalienable rights. And that we are this far away from where we started is a disgrace. So that's why I'm running. I would appreciate your support, and I would like to sign your flag.
Oh, okay.